Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Wait, no, that's gay, Haha, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Daniel and I'm in the freaking Lion's Den. So, if you're new around here, I make videos about mentality, lifestyle, and something else, fashion. It was fashion. Forgot my own intro. So, if you're clicking on this video, you're probably wondering to yourself, is a long distance relationship really worth it, or if it's gonna work? Well, I'm here to answer that for you from my own experiences, guys. And you might like what you hear, but I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, this is just my experience and what I think about long distance relationships. And you know, like, I just want to be honest with you guys. And I wasn't even sure if I wanted to talk about the subject on my channel, but you know, female nature and like all this, like, men have problem with that. Men have problems with like females, and you know, that's part of life. That's part of life. So I gotta cover it. Like, plus I got some funny ass stories from my past experiences from relationships, and you know, some simpy stories. But you know, we're not there yet. So I'm just gonna introduce you guys with long-term relationships because I know a little too much about it. So let's get to the video, guys. All right. So for the sake of privacy, I'm not gonna mention their names. I have two stories. So the first story, I'm gonna call her Lady 1, and the second story, Lady 2, because I don't want to say their names without their permission. Plus, like, I don't really want them to get that vibe that I'm mad at them. I'm not. But so where do I start? My first long-term relationship was back in 7th. Wasn't even long-term. Oh, I messed up. So my first long-distance relationship and my first real crush I had, I guess, was back in 7th grade. And I only saw this girl like once a week. And this chick, I saw her at church every Sunday. At the time, I was pretty beta and I didn't know really how to like start a conversation with a girl. And like, honestly, I just focused on the way I dressed and the way I smelled. So like, that's just one sign you can really get a woman. That's besides the point. But you know, the way I acted towards her is like really needy, and I was really like socially awkward, you could say. And I'm just being honest, like I was kind of annoying. Like, I was sending her message after message, and don't do that, guys, don't do that. But what made this a long distance relationship is that she went to a different school, and I live, you know, we live in the same town, but she went to a different school. And you know, I always try to find a way to get to her, and like, you know, Sunday mass in the morning, we still had time, so I always went downstairs because that's where she would be to set up her classroom. And I always saw her there, and you know, did my beta cuck thing, and I just like gave her a hug, and like, I don't know, man, it was pretty cringe. Man, this is such a dumb story. I can't believe, like, I'm talking about it now, and I just feel so. I feel like a grown up. I matured a lot, and where was I? Anyways, so the only way we communicated was through text, and like every Sunday, I did go to youth group and she was there, so we did see each other a little more than an hour, but that was like every 2 weeks. So like the in-person, sorry, man, burping. The in-person interaction wasn't really there. So, you know, just because there's a little bit of interaction, I mean, this can kind of go on for a while, but I really recommend to not commit like I did, because like, she went to a different school and she was already talking to other guys. And where I messed up is that like, I just kept waiting for her and waiting, and you know, I didn't get any like confirmation that she wanted the same thing. But you know, she was being more realistic, and I was being a little more caught in my dream that I wanted to be with her. And you know, that's the problem, guys. Like, you get caught in this like idea that you guys are gonna be together, but you know, they're probably doing something else. They're probably moving on with their life. They're talking to other people. All right, so this went on for a few years, and I always had that hope that she would, you know, be with me. But realistically, we were young. We didn't have any vehicles. We only saw each other in mass. So you know, that was not a really real reality that could happen. And you know, that really like bothered me. And like, here, get this, guys. So literally the last, I think it was freshman year, is like my real heartbreak. I like, we were talking and then I got cut off again. So I was like, bruh, I was like, come on, man. And then this is like, you guys are gonna make fun of me for this shit, but you know, it's pretty simpy, and I gotta admit, she posted on her Snapchat, 'cause I knew she was talking to some other guy, and I guess they're like finally dating, and I got really butthurt, and I was like, oh, it's so stupid talking about it now, but I remember that day I ran up to like my quiet places, like up the mountain, and I just kind of sat there, and I had a moment. I didn't tear up yet, but you know, the crying came after a little bit. That's just, I was young, guys. Come on, like, give me a break. We've all been through it. We've all gotten our hearts broken. So I don't know what to say, guys. Just long-term relationships. That's my first long-term relationship, fellas, and you know, I hope you can learn from that one, and maybe you guys can relate. Fast forward a few more years, back in like last summer, coming out of senior year. We drive now, so, and you know, this woman comes back into my life, but you know, that's a whole different story. I don't want to really get into it right now, but I never really kicked her out of my life. I still had her on social media, so that's just another topic I'll talk about later on in the video. Alright, geez, if you guys thought that story was cringe, well, I got an even worse story to tell you, because this thing is, honestly, this is like the simpiest, like, blue pill thing I've ever done in my life, and this happened for years. And you know, like, there's nothing wrong with it, because this is more traditional thinking, like traditional red. Here's a little red pill lesson, like something people aren't talking about. So red pill is the modern way of dating, which is like hookup culture, really. And the blue pill is, I know people say it's like, oh, you don't see things, but I mean, yeah, I guess that's what it means. But when they talk about it in a dating context, that really means like traditional. So like, you know, being single, what's the word, mono? I don't even know, I can't think of the word, but I'm just gonna say blue pill is more traditional, and I was a little blue pilled back in, but I don't say purple pill because I don't really believe in that. I want to say I'm red pilled now. Anyways, besides the fact, if you don't know anything about that, look it up. Okay, anyways, on to the second story. So I met this girl a little bit after what happened to the first one, and this was like back in my sophomore year of, it was my sophomore summer. So I went on this retreat in Denver, and I met this girl. Her name, I can't say her name, but you know, she was a really pretty looking girl, and like I looked at her from time to time, and it was like a week-long retreat, so we did get to know each other. And you know, at the time damn it, let me fix the freaking camera. You don't see the red things? Okay. Well, what was I saying? What the hell was I saying? Alright, yada yada, all that stuff that happened. Alright, the end of the retreat was around like a Friday, and I remember everyone was exchanging numbers and like social media and stuff, and I noticed that she didn't have anything. And you know, I actually asked her, like, why don't you have any like social media? And she said she didn't have, like, never used it. And I was like, well, how can I contact you? And her Gmail was there, so I was like, yeah, you know where this is going. But I, you know, emailed her for the time I was there, because I tried it out. I was like, see if this actually works. It did work. And then, you know, the end of the retreat happened, and we spent time together, and then she left back home. So, and she lives in a different state. Yeah, she lives in a different state, so it's getting worse and worse, huh? Anyways, the first month we exchanged I guess messages on Gmail. This is so dumb, bro. You know, I think about it now, and it's like I was just naive, pretty naive. But I mean, we had FaceTime. We had one FaceTime, I think about it. But then we started sending videos through email, and then, you know, that happened for a year, and then like all of a sudden it kind of stopped. Like, I don't know what happened. We just stopped talking to each other. But then, you know, we still had each other's contacts in our phones, and I ended up, well, she ended up messaging me back like near the end of my junior year. And at the time, I went to Panama for World Youth Day, and bro, like, I was still thinking about this chick. She was still on my mind, even though like we haven't talked in like a year. And I remember buying something in Panama for her, but I never gave it to her. I actually gave it to my sister. Besides the fact, I still bought her something. Like, come on, man, really? Like, you haven't talked to this chick forever. You still bought her. It's some beta cuck shit. Alright, don't be me, guys. Don't do what I do. So here's where it really turned on me. So we've actually, summer of 2019, I was like, when we started talking fully, like every single day. She had a phone now, and I had a phone, so we always messaged each other. We called each other, and it was actually going pretty great. And then, you know, the last retreat I went on was in 2019, and we saw each other. And we spent a lot of time. We spent like 3 days. Yeah, 3 days. That's it. But like, it was great. It was a good time. Not gonna lie. But you know, I was so oblivious to the fact that like we're living different lives. So let me finish this quick story. So it was near the end of 2019. That's when like my life started like going to hell. Anyways, that doesn't really matter at this point. But I remember she called me one late at night, and like I finally confessed I liked her, and then she felt the same way, but she was smarter than me, and then just like, you know, it's not gonna work out, and I was, you know, kind of beta cuck. But this, you know, the sad part was that like she like literally cut me out of her life like completely, and this is something that I could have avoided. I could have avoided this like a long time ago, but you know, I was always chasing her, like that I ended up getting hurt, and I don't want that for you guys. Like, you know, long distance relationships has the potential to really mess you up in life, because mess you up in the head, because you know, you're always like worrying and always thinking about someone that's, you know, probably living their own life. Like, you're hurting yourself at that point. And it took me, one thing that it taught me is that it really takes the courage to like do something like that, to cut someone off, especially in a long-term relationship, because it's not only benefiting the other person, but it's gonna help you out, you know, accept things, move on. And all I'm trying to say, guys, is be smarter than I was, because I really hurt myself from this dumb idea of being together. So, you know, be smarter than I was and cut it off. Like, honestly, just cut it off, because you're gonna help yourself out more. It's gonna hurt. Like, we're all human beings, and trust me, I was devastated. I was like, ugh. My heart was hurting, bro, but it had to be done. You know, it's part of life, and you have to learn to go through it. And it actually made me a better person today. So, you see, the problem with what I used to do was that I was so caught up in a dream. Like, for the past two stories I told you, I was always caught up in this idea that like, oh, we're eventually gonna be together, and like, no, like, cause I never looked at the circumstances, because, well, first, for like the first story, the chick was already seeing other guys in different schools, so that's like, all right, move on. And then the second story, like, she's living in a different state. Like, of course she's gonna have her own life and talk to other guys, like, and I was just so caught up in this idea that, you know, eventually things will, you know, come first full circle, but you know, it never did. I don't want to leave a negative message to you guys, and I really do believe that long distance relationships can work, but you know, nowadays it's really hard. But I mean, I've seen it done. I've seen people go long distance relationships for a while, but you know, the circumstances are there. Like, their situation works for them. It's not working against them. So like my situation, both stories, my circumstances were working against me. I mean, different things were going on, and it didn't line up to what I wanted in my life and what she wanted in their life. So I'm just saying that long distance can work. So if you're unfortunate enough to be in a long distance relationship, I'm gonna give you some tips to see if they'll work out, and I'm gonna like help you guys out. So let's do this. Alright, rule number 1. You guys have to see each other at least 4 to 6 times a year. Anything lower than that, I mean, you're kind of pushing it, you're risking it, and like you're risking losing that connection. I mean, but like it really depends on your level of commitment. If you know one side's more committed than the other, like maybe it can work out if you see like 3 to 2 times a year. And that was in my second story. I only saw her like 2-3 times a year, so that commitment has to be there. And you know, it's kind of risky, and I really don't want you guys to get hurt. But I'm just saying, at least 4 to 6 times a year, and I think you guys can keep that strong connection in person and out, you know, doing your own thing for a while. Advice number 2, you have to establish the trust. You have to talk about trust with them, and there's gotta be a level of trust. So you can't just keep worrying about it and have anxiety of what their other person is doing. There's gotta be a level of trust. So like if you are in a long distance relationship and like you've already established a commitment, you gotta have trust in the other person. If not, like you're gonna be so full of anxiety and like you're gonna be questioning what they're doing all the time, and like that really does deteriorate relationships. Like, what, you don't trust me? Like, I'm here for you. So you know, just be careful with that, guys. Always, you know, establish the trust, start a good foundation on that, because you know, trust is everything. So like, I mean, don't be dumb, but you gotta trust your partner just to see if you can really work things out, you know. Alright guys, so last one is number 3. And you have to know what you want in a relationship and what they want in the relationship. So if she just wants attention, and I really don't want that to turn into that, like you just giving her attention, because I'm pretty sure that's what happened to me in my first story and a little bit in my second story. You have to talk about what you want in the relationship. You have to tell her what you guys want to be in the future, if anything. So like, say if you want to get married, like you want to get married, but she might not want to get married with you. So like, just gotta establish like what do you guys want in this relationship, what do you want to get out of it, and what you want to, you know, do with it. But you know, if you guys want the same thing, like I don't see why this long distance thing will like halt you from that. So just, you know, stay positive, but always ask your other significant what they want in the relationship, so you guys can be on the same level. Now you may be surprised that I did not say constant communication, or like texting, calling, like, because that can get stale over a while. Like I know it gets really stale, and it turns into more of a liability, and you really lose feelings for that, because like you're not really talking because you want to. You feel like you're talking because you have to like keep in constant communication. And that, you know, that is really what kills a relationship, especially like a long distance, because you're not gonna have that level of like, what's the word? You're not gonna have the same connection if you're just constantly talking every day. Even if you call, like you're just wasting time at that point, and just don't waste time. Plus, it could turn into like I said, you just giving her constant free attention, and come on, we don't have time for that, fellas. We don't have time to give out constant attention. We got things to do, we gotta grind. So the last thing I want to speak on in this video is, if you have them on social media, you know, it's up to you if you want to add them, or not add them, but unadd them, or like keep them on there. So like if you unadd them, I don't really see anything wrong with it, especially if you establish that you don't want to be friends. So I mean, if you told her you just don't want to be friends, go ahead and unadd her, because you deadass told her what you wanted. So there's nothing wrong with that. But keep in mind, if you do keep them on there, it leaves a door for them to, you know, reach out to you. Maybe in the future, like what happened to me in the first story. Not some other time, I'll tell you guys about that. But you know, you can't like, if you keep them on social media, you have to be, you know, worded. Like if you keep on social media, you can't keep pursuing, because you've just told her that you're done. But you know, don't be the weak guy that like texts her again just to see like your chances. Like, no, don't do that. Just, you know, you should be leveling up, and she'll come to you if you're on your grind and stuff, as you should be, right, guys? Yeah, so if you want to keep her on, go ahead. If you want to unadd her, go ahead, but you know, don't be a beta cuck. Okay, geez, so the takeaway from this is that long distance relationships are hard in themselves. They're very difficult, but if you're the lucky one that can make it work, you know, God bless you, and I applaud you, man. Come on. Good job, bro, because you know that's something that's super rare, especially nowadays. So if you do make this long distance relationship work, like, that's more power to you guys, and like, I'm glad, and I hope that relationship thrives. But guys, if you're stuck in a longer term relationship, use my advice and learn from me. I was hurt pretty bad twice, but you know, don't slip up. I want you guys to be healthy. I don't want you guys to be so caught up in someone that doesn't want you. And there's nothing, like, I don't have anything against these women. Like, you know, our lives are just different, and they never, you know, tied together. I mean, they probably cross paths, but they never gonna, you know, synchronize. So, you know, I got nothing against these women, and I, you know, hope they're doing great. Hope they have a good life. Find a good man. I don't know. Who cares? But don't be mad, guys. Don't be mad at women. Don't be mad at this process, because it's all part of life. And you know, some of us gotta live a discernment, not preach it. So I obviously lived it twice, and will I do it again? I can't say I'm gonna do long distance anymore, because I mean, that's my opinion. But if you guys really think you can do it, hey man, more power to you. I hope the best for you, because I don't want to see anyone fail. And if you do make it work out, you know, good shit. Alright guys, so that's all I got for my video today, and I hope you liked it. If you want to talk more about this female nature stuff and like my past relationships, I got a lot of stories, and I really want to share them with you guys, because they're kind of beta cuck. They're funny, but you know, you can learn a lot from them. And I learned a lot over time, and who doesn't like a good story? So like I said, guys, that's all I got. My name is Daniel. This is The Lion's Den. If you're new around here, subscribe, hit the like button, share this video with your homies. Let's grow this channel. Let's, you know, have some fun with this, guys. I'm glad that you made it to the end of the video. So that's all I got, fellas. Peace out, motherfuckers.